Our next speaker is a former student of mine at the MFA Design program at SVA, and what he's going to talk about today is a project that started as his thesis project and has made a great impact on a cultural institution. So please welcome Bobby Martin.
In 2001, I went back to school. I went to the School of Visual Arts MFA Design program, and that's where I learned that I could be a designer and I could do things for a good cause. And I learned that graphic design could be an agent for change. I learned that I could be persuasive. I learned that I could stand up for what I believe in. In my research, I found this banner that says, "A man was lynched yesterday." That's powerful. That's design. I started to look at this cross, which was presented to the church in 1954 by the Emperor of Ethiopia. And I looked at that and I said, well, that's a powerful symbol for so many reasons. And so I began to redraw it. It's good to redraw the cross, but I need a logo. So I simplified it, and it became this. Pastor Reverend who is the pastor at the church now, saw that Harlem was being infiltrated by cigarette and alcohol and all these different ads, and he wasn't happy with it, so he did something about it. Literally, he went out and painted over the liquor ads and cigarette ads and billboards. I love this one here. It says, "Irate churchgoers paint the town." Yeah. With that, I did a different phase of the project. I went and talked about the Billboard campaign that he led in 1990. I mean, that was amazing, and it got a lot of press. But as a graphic designer, thought about, well, how can we put up something positive instead of just taking down something negative? And he said, man, Bobby, I love that idea. Kind of like that. And so he said, but it seems like it would cost a lot of money, and we don't really have that. We have so many. And I said, well, I've done something about that. I applied for a grant with Sappi papers in a program called Ideas That Matter. And I had $33,000 to be able to do this campaign. And he said, oh. He said, well, we're going to have a march. And I said, oh. So we had a march. And I had a photographer, and he was running around taking pictures of everything. And I took those pictures after the march was over and reinterpreted them so that we could take them one step further from the photograph of like the civil rights era and move it into a modern context with messages that were positive. Each phase, each month, we pull back and you start to see more of the people who were holding up these signs. You would start to see kids, and you might say, well, that's the guy I see on the street every day, walking to school. Or you might even see, as we pull back a little further, oh, that's my neighbor. So it became a movement and a campaign of not just me and the church, but of all the people within the community. I'm still working with the church today. It's a little bit different, it's more of an evolution, really, because as the church comes upon its 200th anniversary, I started to take that identity and evolve it into the identity for their 200. And that starts to be used on banners and pulpits. I tire so of hearing people say, let things take their course, tomorrow is another day. See, I do not need my freedom when I'm dead, because I can't eat tomorrow's bread. Freedom is a strong seed, planted in a great need, because I live here too, and I want freedom just as you. That's Langston Hughes. I'm Bobby Martin.